What's going on, guys? Freezer Bound Outdoors here. Today I got to interview Andy from Rubline Scents. He is going to help us with some knowledge on mock scrapes and the drag line. So hopefully you guys can enjoy, whether you're a new hunter or a hunter that's been using scent for a while. Maybe this can help you guys improve your chances this fall. Hope you enjoy the video. Here we go.
Hey folks, Andy Rice here, Rubline Scents, co-owner of Rubline Scents. Today we're going to talk about the effectiveness of making a mock scrape and why it is so important to use them during your season. It's June 3rd. This is a great time to get your mock scrape started with our fresh scrape from Rubline Scents. Perhaps a little later we'll get a close-up on that, but that is our fresh scrape. And let's just talk real quickly about how mock scrapes work. Well, in the wild, deer naturally make communication scrapes. They'll make a mock scrape that represents a territorial area in the woods where deer come to communicate. In other words, leaving their scent. Along with that comes the licking branches. Licking branches can be in a relative height where deer can actually get up, get the orbals on their eye glands on there. That's how they distribute it and leave scent. But today we're going to make a mock scrape. I'm going to show you how to do that with basically a couple different principles. One, using a dripper. Two, I brought along my scrape mechanism. Today you see I'm wearing shorts. For this illustration, I'm not really scented down. It's just for us to give this demonstration today. But in order to make a great mock scrape, it's best to keep your scent down. Wearing gloves, spraying your boots, making sure that you're not leaving scent on any branches or floral debris around. And I just like to pick an area where I have a place to hang my dripper and allow my dripper to drip the scent. And I'll take my scratch and I'll represent a scrape. Now notice what I did. I used a metal device here. It's to claw it up, and I gave that presentation of like there's hooves, you know, and sometimes the bucks will get the racks in there as they mature in the fall and get that velvet off. But right now we're just looking at making that scrape. One thing I like to do is I've been using the Magnum dripper. There's many other types of drippers out there that you can use, but one of the things I like about the Magnum dripper, it allows me to put basically 4 ounces out of my 5 ounces in this bottle right in my dripper. And I'll start my scrape with a little right on the floor here. And then I'll disperse the rest of it into my dispensary. I just put a little bit in there just to show. And I like to put my spout on, and I'll hang my dripper basically in the location over my scrape. So ideally the dripper is going to be here while you're working, while you have other activities, while you're at a school function, while your kids are playing baseball, whatever sport they might be doing. Your dripper's working for you while you're working for you to make your income and then get ready to enjoy. So one of the greatest factors about a mock scrape is not just to make it and let it sit, but it's to put a camera up. So I like to pick a tree in an area, and oftentimes I'll hang my cameras about 6 feet. Oftentimes I do that is because more mature bucks, they'll catch that camera. A lot of times they'll avoid that camera, they'll walk around it. When I put my camera up here, I get that angle shot. I get to see the activity. Now, the key about fresh scrape is it's a non-invasive scrape mix. It's a mixture of non-estrus doe, non-dominant buck, and it greets everyone to come in. Why is that so important? Because you want to get an accurate inventory of what's in your woodlot. You know, what's living in the territory that you're hunting. And you get that inventory. And those deer come in and they'll urinate, they'll let their smell, their scent here, and that's a form of communication. And it becomes Once you start a scrape, oftentimes it'll maintain itself. You watch your pitcher slow down. Now it's time to come back and maybe refresh it. The other factor about a scrape is where do I hunt now? I'm looking at my dominant wind, and this location is like a northwest wind, so I know my wind's coming this way. So I'm looking for a tree that is going to support me in this possible wind. If I know this is my dominant wind, where's my scent going to go? I want to make sure my scent doesn't crosswind with the deer that are coming in. So I'm going to look at a tree. I like this tree right up here because it gives a great presentation of a shot right here, and it gives me a lot of cover. There's a lot of cover in this oak tree, and I'd probably do a hang-on set up there, and this would be how I would hunt this location. So that's kind of the demonstration of a mock scrape and the reasons why we do it.
Andy, can you tell me a little bit about the dripper and how it works so the guys can understand about the dripper?
This here Magnum dripper has plastic. It's a plastic container. There you can see it just dripped because I squeezed it. So on one side of that dripper, there's a thicker plastic than the other side. The other side is a softer plastic. That allows when sun comes out during the daylight hours, it's a gasification. So it expands and pressurizes the urine to drip, and that's why you're not out here squeezing it. You know, the sun is actually activating the drip to allow it to push the urine out. And that's really the science behind that. It's just it's very simple, and it's a good process. So at night, while things are cool, you know, it already dripped through the day, so it allowed enough of fresh scent to be there during the day. It's going to gasification, and it's going to drip more for you.
Doesn't it also help to get your deer out during the daylight?
Well, it's a great question, Rick, and obviously when you have an active scrape, more mature bucks are going to be coming back to revisit this during the daylight hours because they're curious to what is in the area. You know, what junior buck's here? I want to kick his butt, right? So these bucks are coming in, and that gives you more activity. And the greatest part about it is you watch your moon phase, you watch your activity, your deer on your cameras, and it gives you the perfect time to come in. You study your wind, you study your temperatures. There's a lot more that goes into it, but this is a really active ingredient to your success for the season.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned a licking branch.
Yeah.
Do you recommend putting scent when you start your scrape first? Putting scent on the licking branch, or do you let the deer do it themselves?
Well, actually, the deer will naturally do that because in the natural, deer, when they do a scrape on their own, it's automatic for them to let their scent and their eye glands and stuff, the secretion, they'll do that. They'll come in, they'll get on their hocks, they'll urinate right on the scrape. And that's the factor that invites more and more deer to come in and revisit that scrape. Who's here? You know, these smells become familiar, and they want to know who's stepping up to the game, especially when it comes time to rut. But I'll be honest, we harvest a lot of deer on fresh scrape because it is that active, scrape mix that brings deer to communicate. That's a great question. Thank you.
For people that have never used the dripper,
Yeah.
so you fill that up, how long does it last, and how long do you wait before you come out and...
That's a great question. Normally what I do is I recommend buying a 5-ounce bottle of Rubline's fresh scrape. We also have a buckroot juice and a triple estrus. That's for different parts of the season. But we're concentrating on the fresh scrape. I like to put 4 ounces, add them into the dripper, 1 ounce to start it. I'll have my cameras active. I'll watch what's going on. You're going to get anywhere from 5 to 7 days on a good drip. And the key there is, even afterwards, you're going to watch your cameras. Because what happens, these bucks, these does, these fawns, these yearlings, they're coming in, they're leaving their scent behind, they're urinating, and at this point, they are activating, reactivating. When you see things slowing down, come back out and reapply, and you're ready to go again. That's a great question. So, hey, I just want to thank you guys. Thank everybody for joining on here today for this opportunity. Get yourself some Rubline Scent Fresh Scrape, and I guarantee you'll have some results. One of the things I want to factor in on is we are 100% natural, 100% pure. We add no additives, no preservatives, and we are 100% oxygen bottled free. We bottle oxygen free. and we are part of the DPP and our HSA association, which guarantees that we are 100% CWD certified and free of any CWD prions. So you can guarantee anytime you have a bottle of Rubline Scents, it has been tested and it's been qualified to set at the field. You never have to feel unsafe using our product. All right. We're going to talk real quick, just a real quick scenario about how to use a drag line, and it's a very simple process, very simple application. So this one actually has two on. It kind of represents, like, you know, you're allowing two trails to come back through, and what I like to do is, even in the fall, like I find an oak leaf laying, I'll lay it right down in, and I'll put my gloves on, lay it right down in, and I'll soak that up real good. And I always want to make sure that I'm starting from a point where I'm not walking straight to my stand. So the key behind that is, and the reason why is, you don't want to bring that target right to your stand. You want to bring him or her, you know, male or female, whether sex you're hunting. I like to drag it wherever you drag it. Your scent's dragging. So the key is, like, if this is my stand right up in this location here, I might come in, I might come right here, and I'll dog leg, and I'll get this way. And I might bring this, I might wrap it right around the front of the tree or in the back of the tree. What I'm doing is I'm getting that deer to change its direction to bring that shoulder front, so I can get that long shot. That's what my target is. I want to open up that opportunity to bring that arrow to an execution where I can make a good shot. Now this one has two on, so you can use the same scent in both. Now when it comes like the third week of October, I like to do some fresh grape, and then I'll do my buckroot juice. And now I have a blend of two different scents on there. I'm doing a fresh grape on one, I'm doing a buckroot juice on the other, which also has a blend of the fresh grape in, but it also has a triple estrus, and it has dominant buck. Remember, this is non-dominant. So I have non-dominant buck, and I also have dominant. Now I'm a game changer. So this changes everything, because a lot of times, public land, different places, mature bucks will go to bed during the day. They'll go more nocturnal. Why? Because they get pressure. They're not going to be out in those daylight hours where they know they could get captured, you know, crosswind with a human scent, for example. The other thing is they're also reserving their testosterone, their weight for the rut. So I like to get them out of their bedroom. So let's say, for example, I know the bedroom's back there, and this is feeding out here. So I might take an approach where I'm going to go along that field edge, or maybe not next to the field edge, but in, say, 50, 60 yards. I'm going to sneak down around. I'm going to loop my scent down around. So when they catch that scent, they're not going to want to go directly to their bedroom. They're going to want to follow the scent and see where that buck, where that doe, where the young buck went. And they're curious because they want to know who's in my area. It gives you that opportunity. They bring that animal, go into its bedroom, and bring that mature buck, that 130, that 140-inch buck that you've been dreaming of, maybe 150, depending where you're hunting. That's your target buck. You bring him in, and you get a great shot. And that's what it's ethical shot, making that harvest count is what Freezer Bound's all about, right?
That's right.
So
Let's drop them.
I have a question for
Yeah.
you whenever you get sent. So do you recommend when you're dragging your drag rag around the woods, I believe that if I put scent on it here,
Yep.
this is my strongest spot for the scent.
Okay.
And as I'm dragging it, that scent dissipates. So do you recommend refueling,
Yeah, Ted,
reapplying it?
that's a great point, and you often find, like, halfway through my drag, you know, depending how far I'm going, I will stop and reapply.
Because I've had
fresh.
instances where the deer will go the wrong way because the scent is stronger where I put it,
Yep.
and I drag it here, and as it's dissipating, the buck will pick up the scent and go the way that it's stronger and
Wow.
walk the
Okay.
opposite
That's a
way.
good point.
So I try to add pretty often as I'm dragging just to keep the scent
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah, it's kind of unique because a lot of times, you know, my experience has been with whitetails. It's kind of like, you know, this scent is dropping as you're going, and it's almost like they're directionally they know. But you know, it's a good point. If you're not as strong on your lead rope, perhaps they would go back to the stronger scent because that's stronger there versus here. So yeah, it's a good point. But refreshing and always helps.
Always a good thing.
Yep, always a good thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other thing I like to do is have my belt on. You know, my loop. You know, your bow's in one hand. You may have gloves on, or you know, whatever. You may have your release on, and you don't want a whole bunch of stuff straggling on you. It's just nice to
Hands free.
wherever you go. Just take it with you, and whatever branch it goes over, that's okay too, because guess what? Your scent's being left right behind. And you would not believe how many does, you know, I harvested early in the season by laying a good scent line down, and they're curious because those are very curious, you know. And if, to be honest with you, when you get one up on a doe, you've done something. So I'm very happy about the product that we provide to our consumers, and the work that we go, the nth degree that we go to make this product the best it can be in the wild is pretty amazing. It's at a scientific level.
If I wanted to purchase a product, what website do I go to?
Yeah, rublinescents.com. And also I'd like to mention that we do have a membership program. It's only $25, which gives you 20% off all of Rubline Scent branded product, 10% off all our other products, and we also have you automatically get into a drawing for like a spring gobbler hunt, a fall deer hunt, and a fishing trip.
And 47 other prizes, apparel prizes.
So there's lots of prizes all through the season, and you don't get much for $25 a day. So I think that's a big promise that we give our consumers for $25. All the discounts you get. It's pretty amazing.
Also on Facebook and YouTube, correct?
Correct. Yep. Yep. Check us out.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Yeah. We appreciate the opportunity to have this discussion and share what we do.
Did you pick all that up, Boxy?
I got it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video with Andy from Rubline Scents. Hopefully the knowledge of the mock scrape and the drag line will help you guys be successful this fall. We do use the products, and we will have some videos coming up of us using the mock scrapes, so make sure you stay tuned. Our 2-man archery contest will open up in August. Points plus spread. Just a fun competition where people walk up and film their harvests. We give some nice prizes away. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We got some product reviews and some giveaways coming up. So make sure you follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and we will see you soon.